Okay, let's dive into a topic that, let's be honest, can sound a little dusty. We're talking about church history. But what if I told you it's not just about the past? What if it's really a story of providence, a rich family inheritance that actually helps us make sense of our world right now?
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? Is this just going to be a long, boring list of dates and names and controversies that don't matter anymore? It's so easy to think that. But honestly, that's like looking at your family tree and just seeing ink on paper. You'd be missing the whole incredible story of who you are and where you came from.
So here's a better way to think about it. And it's the analogy we're going to use today, a mighty tree. See, tracing church history is like tracing the roots of that tree. And the deeper you go, the more you start to understand how and why it stands so strong today.
Right, so let's start by digging into that why. Why should we even care about these roots? What is it about them that's so important for us right here, right now?
A lot of us kind of feel like, hey, the past is the past. It's not really relevant to my faith today. But the reality is, you can't really get a handle on what you believe without knowing how those beliefs were hammered out, how they were defended, and how they were passed down through the generations. The past gives us the vital context for everything.
And listen, this is not just some academic thing. When you understand church history, you start to see this incredible story unfolding. It actually strengthens your own faith, it equips us to learn from past mistakes, and honestly, it just fills you with this sense of humility and gratitude for everyone who came before. This right here is the big shift in thinking. We're not just playing trivia, memorizing facts. We have to ask the deeper questions. Why did that happen? What were the real consequences? And the most important one, what on earth does it mean for us? That's when history just lights up.
Okay, you ready? Let's start our journey and trace those very first super deep roots. We're going all the way back to the beginning, the apostolic era.
This is it. This is ground zero, the period that laid the foundation for, just the next 2,000 years of history. We're talking about the very bedrock of the tree. So picture this. It was an absolutely explosive time. The church just bursts onto the scene with this clear, powerful mission. But right away, it runs into this intense opposition from the Roman Empire. And right in the middle of all that chaos, you have these key figures. We call them the Apostolic Fathers. Many of them actually learned directly from the apostles, and they started writing these letters and texts that would guide the faith for centuries.
And here's a theme you're going to see again and again in church history. You'd think all that pressure and persecution would crush the early church, but it didn't. It actually strengthened it. It purified the message, it solidified people's convictions, and kind of like a tree in a hurricane, it forced those roots to grow even deeper and stronger.
All right, so after that initial period of formation and persecution, the church enters this totally new phase. This one was all about intense debate and getting crystal clear on what they believed. Welcome to the Age of Councils. So as the church got bigger, it started facing new kinds of challenges. These weren't coming from the outside anymore. They were coming from within. This whole era was defined by these huge theological debates, with Christians really wrestling with the core beliefs of their faith.
Now, to get what's going on here, we have to understand a key word, heresy. This isn't just about a small disagreement. Think of heresy like a crack in the foundation of a skyscraper. It's a belief that could bring the whole thing crashing down.
And of course, the opposite of heresy is orthodoxy. It literally means correct belief. So all these great debates were really a struggle to define and defend that core correct belief against all these other ideas that were popping up. So what did the church do? They called these massive meetings, these global gatherings called ecumenical councils. The most famous one, the Council of Nicaea, tackled this huge controversy about the nature of Christ. And what came out of it? The Nicene Creed, a foundational statement of faith that literally millions of Christians still say today, over 1,700 years later. Amazing. After that age of definition, we head into this long, really complex period that you probably know as the Middle Ages, or the era of the medieval church.
This 1,000-year stretch gets a bad rap sometimes, but it's often misunderstood. Yeah, it was a time of huge challenges, but it was also a time of incredible influence, where the church was focused on preserving the faith and really shaping the course of Western civilization. I mean, think about it. As empires were rising and falling all over the place, it was often inside the quiet walls of monasteries that knowledge itself was being kept safe. Monks were there painstakingly copying the scriptures, copying theological works. They basically became the guardians of the faith's intellectual and spiritual roots.
This whole era was also shaped by these towering intellectual giants like Augustine. You also had the rise of this really rigorous academic approach called scholasticism, which tried to bring faith and reason together. And of course, there was the super complex and often pretty tense relationship between the church and government. So, we've traced these ancient roots. We've seen a little bit of the history. Now for the most important question of all, how do we make this history our story? How does any of this actually become relevant to us? So where do you even begin? Well, you don't have to go out and get a PhD overnight. Just start simple. Find a basic timeline, just to get the big picture. And then, this is key, find some people to talk about it with. That's when the insights really start to click. And this is the real payoff. When we actually engage with this stuff, it's not just about the past. It builds our confidence for the future. It helps us spot some of the same old errors when they pop up in new forms today. And it gives us these powerful, amazing stories of faith that we can share to encourage each other. You know, when it's all said and done, it comes down to this really simple but profound idea. Studying history from this perspective isn't just about what people did. It's about tracing a divine story that's been unfolding through all of time. We have only scratched the absolute surface today. We've only looked at a few of the main roots of this incredible story. So the real question is, where is your curiosity going to take you next? Are you going to look into the writings of those apostolic fathers? Or maybe jump ahead to the drama of the Reformation? This huge, fascinating story is out there, just waiting for you to discover it.